Good to see you all tonight. I brought the traditional beverage of the UCSD student, boba, and a pill box, just in case I get anxious. So I wanted to talk a little bit about pharmacy. We know that it kind of looks like a boring profession to the outside world, but if you've ever worked in any pharmacy, whether it's in the community or the hospital, you know it is a crazy place. And one of the craziest things about it are the patients. So the first, I think they should make a reality show about working at CVS. I work at CVS, unfortunately. I mean, I love CVS. Oh yeah, it's great. Anyway, the reality show would be called True Life. I'm a fully licensed pill pusher. And the first episode I think would be called, that television show Lost? It was really confusing. They crashed on an island and then there was a smoke monster that killed people or something. So the first episode would be called Lost Drugs. Why is it these patients come to the pharmacy and they've lost their pills for the 5th time. And you're just kind of excited because you want to see what crazy lie they come up with this time, So and they come up to the pharmacy kind of like it's a bar, with a martini, and they're like, "Oh, Evan, you look so good today." I think that's a lie because I just farted. And I haven't washed my lab coat in 3 months or ever, so I look more like a coal miner. And but Susie, I'm glad she lies to me. It makes me feel good. And so she says, "I lost my pills again." And I'm just like, "Okay, well, what had happened to them?" And she says, my car got stolen." "Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry your car got stolen. With the drugs in it. How convenient, Wow. But last week you told me that you didn't have a car and you had to take the bus to get here. And that's why you need your pills in 5 minutes, because the next bus was coming. So there's a lie. And then she's like, "Oh, well, it was my brother's car." And you just think about it. You're like, okay, well, last week you came in and said that your brother died in an avalanche in Switzerland. That's why you're so sad. You need your Xanax early again. Anyway, I gotta love them. They keep you on your toes at least. The second episode, I think, would be called "Working at CVS Makes You Hate Everyone." That's a working title. I don't know if any of you have this experience with a job. So I wish there was a testimonial booth at work. The ones where the reality shows, they talk crap about each other in the booth. So, if I had this booth, I think, I'd just be so much more polite to everybody because I got the booth, This one, I didn't come to this conclusion on my own though about hating everybody. I read a Google map or Google review of our store, our CVS store, let's see. So this one lady writes, "This is the worst pharmacy ever. 2 hours to fill a simple script. Very rude people working in the pharmacy. Waiting for my script and they are talking about their social life. Partying, drinking, and gay dating. Very rude!" Exclamation point. So, I'm sorry, lady. Gay dating, that sounds really horrible. I'm really sad that I'm not gonna marry a nice woman and settle down with her and have that life you want for me, I'm sorry about it. And the other thing that I'm really sorry about is talking while working. I don't know if any of you have done this before. Have you done this? It's Are we not allowed to use our mouth skills while we use our hand skills? 5, 10, 15, whatever. You're like, oh, I'm so close to 270. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just glad this lady didn't hear us talking about her, because she was obviously, right? They gave me that to bleep myself, just in case, all right, I heard that there were 2 students in the P2 class, Tigran and Isaac, that did a really interesting study about a drug called ketamine. And they used ketamine as an anesthetic in the hospital, and they found, through looking at some FDA data, that people who took ketamine were less depressed and they felt less pain. And I was like, duh. Have you ever been in a K-hole before? I haven't, never. But I've heard you're not depressed and you feel less pain. So that study totally makes sense to me. I wanted to talk a little bit about working at the hospital. I think at UCSD we have this idea that it's the team approach to care, and you have the doctors and the pharmacists and the nurses. You're all holding hands, and you're singing a healing tribute to the patient, Kumbaya. And then it's like Power Rangers on rounds. You put your hands in the middle. You go it's morphine time. Does that really happen? Does it? I hope. The worst thing about the hospital, I think, is having to work with other healthcare professionals. Doctors, so bossy, all the time. It's like, I need this, I need that, stat. It's like, stat this, stat that. I'm like, I was in the middle of a really important text to my friend before he needed me to run some epi to a code. Come on. I was picking the perfect emoji. I was like, snowflake, snowflake. Wait, no. How about a little seal, and then a banana, and then a purple heart, and then that shooting star. It's just so beautiful, and then there's the nurses. Such kind souls. But the sad reality is that they're just trying to distract themselves from the fact that their patients are dying in front of them. And that's really sad. It's very sad. But I had a friend, a doctor friend, who told me about a nurse who he was doing a sign-off to, and it was Thanksgiving. And they were having some Thanksgiving festivities going on, the nurses had organized. And so this patient is not doing very well. The doctor is telling the nurse, and the nurse is like, well, do you want to make a hand turkey? And he's like, no, the patient is dying. I don't want to make a hand turkey. The real heroes, I think, of the hospital are the janitors, because they have to clean up all this blood and guts and just whatever, and discarded hand turkeys. So props to them. And the last thing about the hospital that stinks is, you thought you were going to get away from your classmates when you graduated, right? No, there's that one classmate that you had to, sit in class with, and you can't get away from them. And it's going to be that one that you least liked, and they're going to be scheduled with you every week. And they're going to be like, what goes into the Kaufman-Gauss equation again? And it's like, dude, I've done that 500 million times, oh my God. And then they're like, oh wait, what does xerostomia mean? And you're like, Google. You can type anything into Google. Anyway, so I just wanted to end by saying that, I love my classmates, but I'm kind of a rarity among them. And that's weird because I'm a white man. So, anywhere else, I am the symbol of oppression and Trump or whatever. And like here, it's different. And for Christmas, we had a Secret Santa celebration, and the person who got me in it was supposed to write a mysterious note, and it said, "From the other white guy." And I was like, oh, dang, okay. There's only one other one. And he's always setting the curve. I don't even know what that means, but he's setting the curve. The last thing I love about my classmates is that there are so many Asian women. And I have been in love with Asian women like since childhood. Like, you just look at my high school pictures, it's like, Evan with Asian girl, Evan with Asian girl number 2. Like, it's just been my thing. And I think it's because I came upon this, that I think all gay men secretly want to be Asian women. Stay with me. First of all, they eat very little, and I watch them get like one slice of pizza and then eat half of it at the free, the APHA event, and they're like, "I'm so full, ugh." I'm like, I wish I was. I'm getting like 4 to 5 slices, and I'm still hungry. Like, I would not have to go to the gym so much if I just ate half a slice of pizza. That'd be so easy. The second thing I love about them is that they organize like everything for my class. I don't know if it is the same with the other classes, but like Erin Lee has saved my life a million times over. She retired today. At 24, I don't know. So young, so young. But she did so much in her time. I mean, that Google Calendar, if I didn't have that, I would be dead. Like, I just wish she could sleep in the next room for me and like wake me up for everything. That way I would actually show up to things. And the last thing is that all of like the hottest straight guys love Asian women. And if there's anything that gay men want more than that, it's to be with the hot straight guys, right? So that's why I want to be an Asian woman. Thank you guys for putting up with me. Have a good one.